Greetings all. This is Ezra here, A.K.A. the voice of reason. And today I want to speak to you about the resilience of a child. And I think it's really important, this topic that we're going to be discussing today, because there's many valuable tools and lessons that we can learn from a child. And so the first thing that we want to recognize and understand is that when a child sees an obstacle, they are often up for the challenge. And the obstacle we're going to be focused on today is like jumping over a puddle. So the child sees the puddle, it's an obstacle. And what is their response? How do they kind of react to this? Do they get fearful and say, oh, I won't be able to do it. It's going to be too hard. There's no way I can do this. No, that's not their response. They say, I'm going to jump. I'm going to try and get over this. And that's their attempt. That's their desire. That's their goal. They see that it's a massive task, but they're like, I'm going to try anyway. And it doesn't matter how big or how long the puddle is, they will try. And what that shows us is attitude. What that shows us is that it's a mindset of overcoming, of seeing something and not being fearful of it. And attitude is such an important thing that we have to be aware of, because it is your ticket to success. When you have a right attitude, you have the right way of thinking, you have the right way of behaving, and you have the right kind of conduct and ethics that can get you to your desired destination and goal. And so the child tries to jump over this puddle that there's no way that it will be able to get over. And so it's met with failure. And this brings us on to an important point of how do we address and deal with failure? Well, from the point of view of that child, they often fail miserably. But how do they handle that? Do they say, I'm never going to do that again? Do they just think, oh, what's the point? And say, right, every time I see a puddle, I'm going to just run away from it? No. What they do is they accept that failure and they keep going. It's like water off a duck's back. They're not really interested in the fact that they failed. They just carry on going. It's just been a whole load of fun for them. They've learned something. And so what happens when they get to the next puddle? To their parents' horror, they do the exact same thing again. They try, they have attitude, they go for it. And it's really important for us to kind of learn from that kind of endurance, that resilience, that mindset. And they try again without any second thought or hesitation. And the question is, why? Why do they keep going? Why is that motivation still there? Well, they're not dwelling upon how badly they failed the last time. That is the key to their resilience and why they are able to overcome failure. They are present. They practice what as adults we find so hard to do: mindfulness, being present in the moment, not dwelling on the past which you cannot change, not worrying about the future that may not ever take place, but being present in the moment. And it pays off for them. And it can pay off for us too as adults. The problem is when we become adults, we lose the resilience of our childhood. We focus so much on the past and what went wrong, and we hold ourselves in prison cells in our mind to the things that happened previously. And then we're also anxious and worrying and fearful about the future. The stories we tell ourselves in the head about how bad things are going to go wrong if we try again. But the child remains present in the moment. And that is the key to their success and why they can continue to keep going and trying. And so they try again and they still fail. But the problem is, for us, is that we are afraid to get wet. We are afraid to fail. We are afraid to make a mistake where a child isn't. And every successful person has had a mountain of failures that enabled them to get to that point. It was just that they refused to give up. They didn't focus on the past. They remained present in the moment and had their eyes focused on the vision to the goal of their future and what they were able to achieve. F, they didn't give up. And so I want to encourage you today, if you are listening to this and you are weary because your business is failing, because your marriage is failing, because your fitness isn't where you want it to be, whatever your situation or circumstance is, I'm encouraging you today, keep going and don't be afraid to get wet. And so finally, I want to leave you with this note, that you are to learn from failures. Failures are some of the greatest learning curves to get you on your path to victory. When you lose the game, don't lose the lesson. Don't lose your motivation. Don't lose your hope. Keep going and know that that is setting you up for your perfect ingredients for your success. So I want to encourage you to get back to the resilience of your childhood so you can have the right attitude, so that you can be focused, and so that you can continue until you achieve your goals. This is Ezra, aka the Voice of Reason, over and out.